Philippians chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, saying that finances is not a set for gifts. Hey there. Welcome to the Radical Godly Stewardship Podcast. This is episode number 55. And yes, it happens to be Christmas Day for those who celebrate. I hope that your day is going well. And for those who don't, I still hope your day is going well, whatever the case may be. I hope your day is going well. Today's episode is number 55, and we're going to be talking about recovering from holiday spending, right? And giving some kingdom wisdom for the new year that is coming up. So welcome to the Radical Godly Stewardship Podcast. This is where heaven's economy collides with Earth's assignments. And I am your host, Dr. Lexi Johnson, your financial rebel, kingdom disruptor, and your accountability into obedience. Accountability coach, that is, into obedience. So around here, we don't beg God for money. We align, we obey, and we produce, multiply, and dominate. So if you're ready to steward well, think boldly, and build kingdom wealth, then let's dive in. All right. And today, no commercials. We're going to be going straight through. If you're joining me here live, thank you. I don't want to take up much of your time in your day. I'm sure you may have family around. I do as well. So we won't be here very, very, very long. All right. So Christmas is here. And listen, if you're here and you're watching, let me know that you're here. Say hello. I would love to acknowledge you. But again, today we're talking about recovering, right, from holiday spending. So Christmas is here. For most, I guess the joy is real, right? But I also know that there is something called a financial hangover that many people will wake up to in the next few days. And if that's not you, that's great, right? Maybe you have over the years, you have put some things in place to make sure that this is not you. Maybe, getting into all the gift giving isn't, a thing. Like for us, it's not that big of a thing. Everybody gets like one thing and that's it. Our focus is on other things, serving and other things throughout that day. So maybe you're fine, but there are still many, many people who are in this situation where after holiday spending, they experience a financial hangover, right? And so this season, even in the face of economic strain, tighter budgets, millions of Americans still spent their hard-earned money, and they still spent emotionally. Okay. So I looked at some recent stats, and it said more than a third of Americans took on holiday debt this year in 2025, an average of about 1,223, often on credit cards or on buy now, pay later plans. I'm going to touch on buy now, pay later just a moment, but I'm actually going to have a whole episode that's dedicated to those buy now, pay later plans. I'm talking about Afterpay, Klarna, all of those things, right? Those buying, paying for types of plans, or now you can extend them, right? If you meet certain credit criteria and all that. I'm going to have a whole episode dedicated to those. All right. Many consumers also plan to spend less. They did plan to spend less this year, but they still took on the financial pressure and now are feeling a regret. Okay. So today we're talking about how to recover from holiday spending, how to process it without shame, and how to strategize right now, so that next year doesn't leave you in the red. See, all of the stores, they're in the black, right? Because they've gotten your money. They're in the black, but you're in the red. And it doesn't need to be that way. So let's do our stewardship check. Our stewardship check-in. This is what we always do as we get started. We're going to take a deep breath. And we're going to ask ourselves some questions. All right. Did the holiday expenses leave you feeling relieved, anxious, overwhelmed, or unprepared? Did the holiday expenses leave you feeling relieved, anxious, overwhelmed, or unprepared? Okay. Write your answer down in a notebook. You should always have pen, notebook, and all that when you come here, anyhow, right? So write your answer down. Or maybe there's another feeling that I did not describe here. Just write it down. How did the holiday expenses leave you feeling? Okay. Did you overspend on gifts, on travel, on food, entertainment, or decorations, right? Or something else? Did you overspend on gifts, travel, food, entertainment, or decorations? And the third question to ask yourself, are you waking up today wondering, and maybe not today, maybe it'll be tomorrow, but you're waking up wondering how you're going to pay the cards off next month? There is no shame here, okay? Only stewardship. Identifying where you are is the first step to where you're going, okay? This is why we ask these questions. This is why I asked you all to like write it out so that you can identify where you are. And now we'll talk about where we're going, okay? So, what really happened this holiday season? That's what we want to get a good handle on, right? We want to ground this in real current behavior in trends, not past behavior, current behavior, right? So, number one, holiday spending pressures remain very high for many people. Again, maybe not you. Maybe, you're like us and you have been year after year pulling yourself out of that pressure. But there are still many, many, many families who are still, caught up in that for a lot of various different reasons. Again, no shame, right? So holiday spending pressures still remain very high. Despite economic caution, many people still feel very pressured to spend, leading to more debt and anxiety about bills. All right. Number two, some are spending less, but they are still feeling strain. Okay. So there are many households that plan to cut back, but they still struggled with affordability. Like maybe it was the prices for travel, for food, even for the gifts, or whatever other services, those costs, have gone up, right? And so they still struggled a bit. Um, Tariffs and rising gift costs can complicate budgets as well. So, inflation and tariffs have made holiday items more expensive this season, meaning that even the most prudent planners still felt the squeeze. Now, I was talking to my mom. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before because I talked to her both days, but we had this. She was sharing with me something that she heard in the news, and I need to go and find it so I can read for myself. But I'll just briefly mention what she said here was that there was a lady who purchased a doll, I believe it was, for either a grandchild or, some child in her family. And the doll was paid for, but then there was this $800 tariff that came off of her card. And of course, she was outraged because she was not aware of the tariff costs or whatever. And she's trying to now get her money and all of that kind of things. I brought it up because I said something about tariffs, right? And about how that has caused, the cost of, gifts and all of these things, depending on where they're coming from, things have gotten more expensive. Now, $800, that's a lot for a tariff. I got to research that story and see exactly what it was, if that was the number and all of that. But the tariff costs are very much real. Okay. Number four, travel and celebrations still matter, right? But they come at a cost. So there are friends that I know that went to several celebrations this month, not just holiday celebrations, but birthday celebrations and all the things. I know that three of my children have birthdays closer to this holiday, right? So you know, that that matters. And then maybe you're not into the whole gift giving thing or whatever, but you decide, okay, as a family, we're still going to get together. So there's travel costs. Travel prices have softened in some areas, yet dining, airfares, all of that is still up, right? Baggage, the cost of baggage is crazy. Okay. We had to pay unexpected baggage fees for my son coming home from college, $140. Okay. Craziness, right? So many people may have wanted to give generously and create memories, and that's a good thing. But without a plan, that generosity can turn into financial bondage, right? So, what do we want to do? I want to talk with you first about recovering without regret. And then we're going to talk about how we can do better next year. The Bible consistently calls us to stewardship with wisdom, and we must guard both our hearts and our wallets. Proverbs 21:20 says that the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. So, holiday spending can feel like the gulping, right? It is the emotional, the celebratory, the this year will be different, um, but it really isn't, right? But kingdom stewardship means preparing and preserving. And we're going to talk about how you do that. And then Luke 14, verse 28 says, "For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost?" Every celebration has a cost, but not every celebration has a plan. And that's where we get caught up, right? And you would think, and listen, I have been a victim too. So again, there is no shame, no judgment. You would think that we know this comes every year, but yet we still don't have a plan in place or a good plan in place, right? So let's talk about a strategy for recovering now and preparing for next year. Here are some practical kingdom moves for the rest of the year and beyond. All right. So, number one, we're going to process the aftermath without shame. Don't pretend that it didn't happen. Write it down. Okay. What you spent, what you owe, what you paid with cash versus credit or buy now, pay later. Okay. There might be three different categories there. What you still owe. Okay. Honesty is a kingdom requirement. All right. If you are not willing to confront where you are now and the behaviors that you have now, how are you going to be able to do better next year? You won't. You can hear all of these strategies that I'm getting ready to share, but it'll mean nothing because you don't want to face what actually happened right now. Okay. Number two, if participating in the holiday in this sense, in terms of buying gifts and the parties and all of that is important to you, then you need to establish a holiday fund that starts today. Okay. Not in December of 2026. It starts now, December of 2025, today. You're going to break the year into 12 parts and contribute monthly so that the next season is prepared for and not borrowed into. Okay. Does that make sense? Break the year into 12 parts, contribute monthly. First, you're going to set a, amount. Okay. Set an amount. And then you're going to break that amount over 12 months or maybe even 8 months so that you're not running right into December, 8 or 9 months. And then you contribute monthly. And this way you're prepared. Okay. Next year, you don't get to this place and you're like, man, I have to put stuff on credit cards or I have to do the buy now, pay later types of things, right? We never know what the year is going to bring. We all like to be optimistic and say, things are going to be better. I'm going to get paid more. My business is going to, is going to grow and I'm going to have more profit. We all want that, right? But we don't know for sure what the year is going to bring. Okay? So we want to prepare. So that starts today. Number 3, budget for next year now. And this is what I was talking about, right? Set some realistic spending limits for gifts, for travel, for food, for entertainment, for decorations, if you do all of those things, And for some of you, it may be that you are taking a hard look at the things that you do. And maybe you will find, you know what? All of that is not necessary. We're going to scale back on these things, right? So it all depends. Everybody is different. Every family is different, but you're going to set realistic spending limits for whatever it is that you plan to do next year. I mentioned like we don't really get into the gift giving thing, but it is nice to come together, and that costs money. Okay. So this is planning in advance. This is um, kingdom discipline, right? Number 4, avoid impulse credit and buy now, pay later traps. Buy now, pay later and credit card debt are temporary conveniences, right? That have long term consequences. So you want to plan how you're going to pay off any current holiday card balances first. All right. So if you have some balances, you need to take care of those. And again, put a fund in place so that you don't have to depend on the credit cards and the buy now, pay later things later on. You don't want to have to get caught up in the emotion and the pressure of the season that will cause you to make those decisions. I know in my family, we've gotten to a place, and this has been some time now, where we're just like, hey, uh, it won't be there on the day, right? Or whatever, we're not doing it this year, or late, or whatever it is for the individual families in our whole in our whole family, and everybody respects what everybody is doing. you know Number 5, redefine, and this is what I was getting at here, redefine your holiday values: grace, presence, gratitude, faith. Are these the things that are important to you? Or, is having everything important to you? I must have this and I must have that for Christmas. Is that important? The gift traditions can be meaningful still without being so expensive, right? Um, what kind of pressure and demands are you putting on others because you have an expectation, right? So, you might want to redefine holiday values, and that can definitely impact your finances. And number 6, start small traditions with powerful impact. So, maybe it's not 50,000 gifts under a tree, but maybe the gift is baking together, and the gift is spending that time together, having meaningful conversation where I'm actually getting to know you. And because we assume, oh, because I've been your brother or your sister all your life, that we know each other. Well, we know people grow and people change, and the things that they enjoy change, and what they think about something changes, right? And so when you're baking together during the holiday time, that's a perfect time to actually get to know one another all over again, right? Maybe it's hot cocoa and a light walk. Maybe it's Bible readings, right? Community service. These are the types of things that grow connection. And for me, that is really what's most important around any time of the year, right? But even now, it is, what can we do that really will promote connection, right? And not fall into the trap that a lot of the commercialism of all that's going on are the things that provide that connection. Okay. So I just gave you 6 things, 6 things that you can put into place, or some strategies that you can use to help you recover from this year and prepare for next year. Okay. All right. Well, if Christmas left you financially strained, you're not alone and you're not defeated. What you need is a kingdom roadmap that helps you get out of the financial hangover, build intentional systems for the year, right? That's systems for your money, that regardless of Christmas or whatever other holidays or whatever other travel and birthdays and all the things, regardless of those things, that you have a system in place that will help you not to have hangovers after, right? Financial hangovers after. Um, you need a kingdom roadmap that's going to prepare for next year's celebrations. You need a kingdom roadmap that's going to align your money with your mission, and your mission as a kingdom citizen should always be a mission that has been God given, what God has given you to do, right? And so that roadmap, one way that this roadmap could be put in place is by joining Financial Rebellion. And right now, the doors are open for just $249. Now, this course that I teach yearly is normally $3,495. Okay. But I don't want people to have an excuse. Okay. I don't want people, um, because we're in a season of economic pressure. I'm not even just talking about the holidays. I'm talking about in general where we have been for the last couple of years, and we're going to be there for a little bit, a little while, a few more years. Okay, but also spiritually, we are in a season of transition and preparation, or preparation and transition. And so I don't want anyone to have an excuse, because Yah is calling us to be prepared and to have our minds focused on the right things. Stewardship, to become better stewards over the resources that He has given us, because there is a higher calling for what we need to be doing with our money, right? So you can join Financial Rebellion, or you can learn more about it by going to bit.ly/join the rebellion 2026, all lowercase, join the rebellion 2026. The link is in the description. Okay. Link is in the description. We want to start spending fewer cycles in recovery, whether it's recovery from holidays, whether it's recovery from emergencies, whether it's recovery from whatever, bad decisions. We want to spend fewer cycles in recovery and more seasons in kingdom abundance. Okay. So, also in the description, our annual fast is coming up January 1st through January 14th. It is called Unshakeable. The Unshakable fast for finances. Our focus this year is on financial peace, because this is not about asking God for more money. No, this is about um, getting ourselves in a space where we can hear Yah talk to us about where we are with our finances, the changes we need to make, the things that we need to keep doing, what he's calling us to do with our finances. And really, this fast this year, the focus again, like I said, is peace. Because if you're not in a space of peace about your finances, it's going to be hard to listen to what God is asking you to do with your finances. Okay. So the link for that is in the description as well. It is bit.ly/Unshakeable 2026. Would love for you to join us in that fast. We're going to meet nightly at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And, each day you're going to have a focus, a teaching. There's a complimentary journal that comes along with it. And our fast is going to be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Water only, no food. And everything else that you need to know about it, sign up. Okay. I'm not going to give all the details here. I'm going to give the details to those who are serious about experiencing financial peace, so that they can move forward and do the things that God wants them to do with their finances. All right. So that's in the description as well. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this uh, Christmas Day. And I'll let you get back to your family. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to mine. We're actually just, really, it's no gift giving opening or nothing here. Everybody slept in. We're getting ready to watch the game. I've made some food. Later on, we're going to, watch Stranger Things together, and we're just going to enjoy each other's space and time, and all of that. So whatever it is you all are doing today and plan to do today, um God be with you, and we'll see you next Thursday, 12:30 Eastern, for our next episode of the Radical Godly Stewardship Podcast. God bless.